There we go. Please tell me you can hear me. Blah. What's up, Mimi? Can you hear me? I am about annoyed logging in tonight. Let's get to it though. My goodness. Let me drop this in the Discord. Let the folks know I'm on air. Let a couple people come in. Apologies for being tardy. Let's see here. Let's drop this in the Discord. All right, and if you're not in the Discord, I'll make sure I add the link probably tomorrow so you guys can come in there. Just a lot of chat, a lot of fellas getting it off in there. But what's up, man? What's going on with everybody tonight? Sorry I'm a little bit tardy, man. For whatever reason, the video did not want to come up. What are we discussing tonight? Definitely going to discuss Giannis tonight. I like the way Giannis handled that situation with Tyrese Halliburton's dad. Yeah, very tardy. Hey, man, I was here at my computer, and then I just had to reboot everything. So, apologies. That's on me. That is on me. All right, TA tip of the night, talent acquisition. Yo, let's talk about job gaps history. Anytime you have like a job gap history, I know a lot of people feel like you want to insert some BS there, or you want to lie. And like I said, you can stretch out your months of, your previous job. Like if you have like a 3-month job gap history, that's fine. That's really no big deal. So if you want to stretch, 2 months here, 1 month there, I'll be honest, no one really checks that. But oftentimes you'll get the question to be like, hey, I see a job gap history here. What happened here? And it's kind of normal, especially post-COVID. COVID, you kind of see it a lot. And sometimes as recruiters, we forget this, to be honest. Like we'll forget that, for 2 years, almost 3 years, a lot of people did not have jobs. So they was working contract work. So if your job gap history is somewhere between 2019 and 2023, feel free to use that excuse. Everybody's using it. If it's kind of post that, you can always go into, hey, I was trying to change careers after COVID, or after COVID decided to move different careers. The biggest advice I can really give you on having a job gap on your resume is be prepared to speak to it and don't lie about it. If you're going to lie about it, say you was in school or say you are in school. Anything short of that is really not going to work. You can also say, I worked the job. It was temporary. It wasn't related to, what I applied for here. But again, be prepared to speak to it. Basically, do not be afraid of a job gap on your resume, especially if you have consistent work history. Now, if you change jobs every year, every 8 to 9 months, the best thing to say on that is that it was contract work. Please do not let people know that you were hired full-time at companies and you're getting fired and quitting your job, and you can't stay at any place longer than 14 months or 16 months. That's not going to get your resume pushed forward. But, always feel free to say, hey, it was contract work. Again, a prying, nosy recruiter might dig into it. Oh, well, who are you working for? Who are you doing contract work with? You can always say, I was working with a lot of firms. I really don't know, who I was during that time frame. Always be prepared to speak to your resume, especially job gaps. The two things that recruiters are kind of trained to look for is job gaps and gosh, I lost my train of thought. Job gaps. Oh, and tenure at companies. Like, why did you leave? We can't really ask you like, hey, tell me exactly why did you leave. But good recruiters will actually kind of get around that and be like, hey, I saw you went from here to here. What was your reasoning for changing careers or changing companies? Which most of the time people have volunteered that information. Oh, I was laid off. Oh, the contract ended. Oh, the job ended, etc. So just be prepared to talk to it. Don't be afraid of it though, especially anytime between 2019 and 2023. That is easily blamed on COVID. You can easily, any job gap you have in your resume from 2019 to 2023 or 2020 to 2023, feel free to use the COVID excuse. Everybody else is using it. But let's hop into the topic tonight. The topic I actually picked tonight is, should we get old guys off of the internet? And this is kind of going. I'm gonna pull up the pod episode. This is kind of going from the conversation that we had on the pod, based around Shannon Sharp and our boy Bill Belichick. Not our boy Shannon Sharp and Bill Belichick. Let me see here where we have the pod at. This week pod was pretty good. Let's see here. So started it with Gav had a birthday. So started it there. We discussed Shannon Sharp, and Gavin had a question. No, Bill is not our boy. Gavin had a question if Gen X had a power and consent issue. Then let's see here. How do men give consent to women? India and Pakistan possibly going to war. Best co-host for Joy Taylor, two personal podcasts. And my personal favorite, which is what I want to discuss early tonight, is how did Shedeur Sanders slip to the 5th round in the league? Oh man, that's easy. Yeah, if you took a year off from retiring in the military, I would just tell them that, hey, I got processed from the military, took some time off to travel. Any valid excuse is going to be believable. It's when you have a 3-year job history gap. We know you work somewhere. We just want to see if you're gonna lie. I mean, because if you kind of lie in an interview, it's really not gonna get you hired. So if you took a year off after retiring, that's perfectly okay, man. So, but hey, let's go into the Shedeur slide, because I saw a lot of comments on the Shedeur slide. Let me see if I can find this. I'm gonna play a clip, and I think the clip is right, but I don't think it's all the way right. Let's see here. All right, I got the clip. Let me see if I can restart this real quick here. Where's the screen? Why are you here? Why are you here? There we go.
to be confident enough to be more. It exposes something.
All right, let's restart it here.
So all around your day one right now, say, that was because this is a fumble.
Arm was going forward. It is an incomplete.
The white Philly fans in the building were saying the same thing because it was about football. This, something entirely different.